Unseen behind-the-scenes footage from All of Us Are Dead will make you appreciate the series even more. The director wanted to make the story as realistic and lively as possible, so they built a 4-story, 100-meter-long school in the studio. They used this amazingly crafted set for shots in and around the building. The makeup was done and used perfectly to create a realistic zombie look, while adding all the bruises and blood on the cast members to showcase their transformations. CGI was not a big part of creating this series. They wanted to keep it as real as possible, that is why they focused on using makeup and on building sets instead. However, they did use blue screen in some cases to add more layers to the school setting. To further accomplish the genuineness of the zombie takeover, several of the scenes were done in one shot, forcing the actors to do countless hours of choreographed rehearsals. A professional dancer was with the cast all the time as they practiced over and over to accomplish the perfect zombie movement. The director says that many actors improvised their actions and reactions. For example, in the scene that happens in the school cafeteria, it was created as a one-take, so it was hard for the young hundreds of actors and extras to do the same actions and reactions every time. Therefore, the director told the cameraman to just follow the students and capture their actions and forget about the initial storyboard, even though they rehearsed this scene many times, but when they filmed it they got different reactions in every take. Cinematography and colors also played a huge role in the making of the show. Director JQ tells audiences to pay attention to the color change of the characters' surroundings from beginning to end. As audiences enter the story on a bright, color-popping note, it slowly gets darker as the zombie spread takes hold. The director intentionally used green clothes for the students to wear to make the red blood pop out even more, which is a method used in many Korean series, just like what we saw in Squid Game for example. All of Us Are Dead is also notable for its relatively unknown cast members, whom Lee Jae-gyu said he thought would have great synergy on set. I thought that bringing on actors who were great at acting but still unknown to the public would add to the immersion of the series, he explained. If you watch the show, I believe that you'll find yourself falling more and more in love with both the characters and the actors who plays them. It's a testament to the appeal that each character has. The chemistry of the characters happened because while they were getting ready to film the show, they stayed long hours together as new actors. The director says they even swapped roles in rehearsing to help each other out. In a behind-the-scenes interview, the director Lee Jae-kyo also stated how much work was put on the sound design of the series, which is why he wants audiences to watch it in a quiet place and raise the volume as high as possible. Sounds of bone-breaking, scary, and surprising sound effects, and many more were added to make the perfect audience experience in watching a thriller zombie apocalypse happen in real time. All of Us Are Dead is a zombie horror series that revolves around a district in South Korea that is plagued by a deadly virus that turns all the infected into mindless monsters in the high school that serves as the place of this pandemic. Even though filming for the first season was temporarily suspended due to the COVID pandemic, they managed to create it perfectly as planned. Lee Jae-gyu shared his reaction to the success of the series, commenting, "I truly can't believe all the love it has received from so many countries around the world. I'm so thankful. I think this will come as a great relief to all the actors and staff who devoted themselves to this project for 2 years." After its release, viewers pointed out how the series remained faithful to the original webtoon that served as the inspiration for the series. Lee Jae-gyu said, "It's similar to the basic story in terms of the original work. The flow of the storyline also doesn't depart much from the original. However, you might get the feeling that the show is different from the original as far as the specific situations that happen to some of the kids as well as what each of the characters are like." The director then emphasized that his goal was to keep the original appeal of the webtoon for its readers while also bringing excitement and relatability to viewers who were seeing the series for the first time. An impressive number of extras were most of the time on set to make the scenes look as realistic as possible. As hard as it can be to control that amount of people on set, it was important for the director to make the atmosphere believable to both the cast and the audience. We can definitely say they made a very good job in doing so. Director Lee Jae-gyu does an effective job at setting up the geography of the school, swooping through hallways and around rooms spanning the various floors. While considering what angle to take on the series, Lee Jae-gyu mentioned that the main focus ended up being the theme of zombies. The director pointed out, "There are cruel and violent scenes, but we thought these would be necessary in order to stay true to the zombie genre. The series tackles a lot of issues but still has room for humor in some of the oddest moments. It has real stakes and creates characters that you can relate to and that you care about. The young actors that have been chosen for the roles are very charismatic and care about their characters. We can see that clearly every time one of the main crew of human survivors dies or is put in jeopardy. The most successful zombie stories are usually about something deeper than just a zombie apocalypse. It is more of a story that draws you into the human experience that point out society's failings. If we had to sum up all of US Are Dead, it's about the cruelties of everyday life that plague people in difficult situations or homes. You see the characters go through some pretty awful things that they can't control, but what really matters is holding on to their humanity. You see examples of how people react in different ways, good and awful, but it shows that people who can cooperate and work together are frequently the ones who survive. Sometimes, life gives you a really bad hand, but it is up to the individual person to make the choice whether to surrender to evil or find a way to survive. It also makes the point that sometimes, there's nothing you can do, but that you can still do the right thing that may save someone else or give someone else hope. We're all connected and we all matter, with every choice that we make. There are parts of this show that have been really nicely written, and the action has certainly been well shot and exciting, but at least the ending does close things off as best they possibly could. It's always tricky to close out a zombie show without feeling like there are loose ends, and I guess bombing the city is a good enough way of killing off most of the zombies there. Many fans try to explain the ending. Many are also waiting for a second season. Maybe the second season of The All of Us Are Dead will look into these new breeds of zombies further and also explore the fate of Byung-chan's wife and son, taken into custody by the NIC. And for the remaining survivors of Hyosun High School, they will face the question of choosing a side, whether to protect half-zombies like Namare or reveal the information to the army to end the problem for once and for all. The series has taken Netflix by storm and it is holding its top spot in the streaming platform's top 10. If the series does get the green light for a second season, fans may have to wait a while for its release. As the show was not given a series order past the first season, there will be a lot of preparation to do. With this in mind, the second batch of episodes may not drop until early 2023.